Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Just one sec. Let me go down. Let me shut off my breathing apparatus. Or CPAP, sorry, breathing apparatus. Now, I want to talk today about when was the first sort of time I realized that I was, back then it was called brittle, now it's called labile. But when did I really start taking a look and saying, yeah, the way diabetes is affecting me may be different than other people? And so often we tend to think that your son or your daughter, if they're having problems, oh, they must be doing something wrong. Because if you take your medication and eat, you will be perfectly fine. Well, no, diabetes needs a little bit more work. And out of all the type 1 diabetes, in, I think it was Canada, they said, 2% are severe brittle. And of those 2%, there's like a handful which people have a real problem trying to figure it out. I mean, I have a great team. I have a dietitian at my disposal. I have an occupational therapist available. I have a super endocrinologist. My eyes look a little black. Ugh. So, in theory, I should be good. Now, in the realm of diabetes, no matter what type of diabetes you have, type 1, type 2, gestational, I don't know why they didn't ever call it type 3. Right? You are going to have days where things aren't working out right. And the first thing a lot of times that people are going to say, what have you done wrong? Or my dad always seems to ask, how's your diabetes? Is your blood sugar high? Well, sometimes it is. It could be low too. But It's not because of stuff I've done. Okay, if I go out and have a great big meal, but I don't take insulin, yeah, my blood sugar is going to go high. But there are times where my blood sugar will go super high. Next day I have the same amount of insulin. It'll go super low. And I follow what my doctor has said, about correcting for ketones or when to test more. And things don't always work. It's severely bad situation. Did that come out right? But sorry, my pub, it's beeping again. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. I'm 5.1. See? Get me out of there. Well, it's 5.1. Whether you see it or not, I don't know. Now, being a labile diabetic, I still like the term brittle. Just explains. The first time that I kind of realized something was wrong, I had graduated high school and came back. My stepdad was building a new extended care part of Lionsgate Hospital, and so we lived across the street. And there were times I was out of it. I can remember, to this day, I can remember lying on the couch, and I've used this expression with migraines too. I really had to think, and everything was sort of like playing in slow motion. And we eventually that night, my mom said, well, maybe you need to go to the hospital. Well, I got into emergency, and they did what they had to do. They got me onto I had an IV. I just think it was sugar water, whatever. And I can remember they put me to a darker corner of the emergency. Still was in emergency, but just... And I can remember coming around again, and there was a big bag of IV fluid, dextrose this time, and the nurse had put a blood pressure cuff over it and was squeezing it in fast. And so that summer I was in the hospital. I spent an awful lot of time in the hospital. And being a labile diabetic, is not fun. You don't know when you're going to go low. I have been found a number of places all over Vancouver and Burnaby where I have passed out. And I started to really take care of myself. And at work, I would take my binder out, write down my blood sugar, give the amount of insulin that was needed, and then went to doing what I had to do. I passed out at work. And the funny part, this is just a little humor here. They had to come up with a first aid program for the building. And during that time, people met. And we met one afternoon. I had lunch. And I passed out. I can remember in my office doing this with my arm and my medical alert and couldn't get it down. It was really bothering me. And next thing I know, the ambulance was called. And it showed that the first aid thing we did worked well. Now, being labile doesn't mean you give up. Get up every day. Take care of yourself the best you can. Have a great day. We'll talk again soon. Bye now.